All right, let's talk about academic writing. If you've ever had that sinking feeling, that moment of just pure panic looking at a paper that's due, you are definitely not alone. But don't worry, we're going to break it all down. We're going to transform that anxiety into a clear, actionable strategy that you can start using today.
Ugh, the blank page. We have all been there, right? That blinking cursor, it just stares back at you, almost taunting you. It is so frustrating. But here's the thing, and this is really important. That feeling doesn't mean you're a bad writer. Not at all. It's actually a symptom of a very specific problem in your process. And the good news? It's totally fixable.
So, researchers have looked into this pretty extensively, and they found two main culprits behind this roadblock. First, we try to be superheroes. We try to do everything at once. We're researching, outlining, writing the perfect sentence, and editing all at the same time. And second, we just dive right in without any kind of a plan, hoping inspiration will just magically appear. Yeah, both of those are basically a recipe for getting stuck.
And believe it or not, there's actually a scientific name for this feeling: cognitive overload. You see, some pioneering researchers named Flower and Hayes figured out that writing is an incredibly complex task for our brains. When you try to juggle all those things at once, your brain just short circuits. The best way to think about it is like a massive traffic jam in your head. It's not that there are no ideas, it's that they're all trying to get through the same intersection at the same time. Total gridlock.
Okay, so if that's what doesn't work, what's the secret sauce? What do successful writers do differently? You might think it's about being born a natural writer or waiting for some lightning bolt of genius to strike. But nope, that's not it at all. The secret is actually just a simple but really fundamental shift in how you approach the entire task. And here is that big shift. It's all about moving from being just a knowledge teller, someone who just dumps information on the page, to becoming a strategic communicator who's really thinking about their purpose and their reader. And this table really gets to the heart of it. A less effective writer starts with, okay, here's everything I know, and then they just try to cram it all onto the page. It's all about them. But an effective writer, they start from a totally different place. They start with a goal. They ask themselves, what do I want my reader to understand by the time they're done with this? See that? It's a move from writer-based writing to reader-based writing. That one change is a total game changer.
So if you remember one thing, let it be this. Your job isn't just to show off how much you know. Your job is to guide your reader to a very specific understanding. As soon as you grasp that, writing stops being this huge, scary chore and it becomes more like a puzzle you're trying to solve. It's an act of strategy.
So how do we actually put this new mindset into practice? Well, it's pretty simple. We can use a three-phase framework. Think of this as your repeatable game plan for success every single time. And it all begins with the prep work. All right, let's dive into phase one, set the scene. And I love this subtitle, know the rules of the game before you play. It is so true. Before you can even think about writing, you have to do your homework on the assignment itself. Now, this part is all about saving your future self from a massive headache. It's just logistics, but it is so, so important. Get crystal clear on the deadlines. Figure out who you're supposed to be talking to for help and when they're actually around, and know exactly what it is you're supposed to be making. An essay, a report, a thesis. What about formatting? Answering these boring questions now prevents a total panic attack later. Trust me on this one. Okay, so you know the rules of the game. Now it's time for phase two. Make a plan. This is where you put on your architect's hat and design the blueprint for your paper. And notice, we're still not actually writing yet. This part is all about thinking and structuring. So what does a good plan even look like? Well, it's got 4 key ingredients. First, a topic that's narrow enough to actually be manageable. Then, you need to boil everything down to one single, central research question that your whole paper is going to answer. Third, you've got to know the so what. Why does this question even matter? And finally, you sketch out a logical outline of smaller questions that will guide you step by step to your big answer. And here we are at last. Phase 3, write and revise. Now, the absolute biggest, most important secret here is right in that subtitle. You have to separate the act of creating from the act of polishing. They are 2 completely different jobs, and they use different parts of your brain. So here's how you do it strategically. First up, you draft. Your only job is to get words on the page. Write fast. Don't stop. Don't worry about spelling or grammar. And whatever you do, do not hit the backspace key. Just create a mess.
Then, once you have that messy first draft, you put on your editor hat and you revise in layers. First pass, just look at the big ideas. Is your argument clear? Next pass, you look at the structure. Does it flow logically? And only at the very end do you start polishing the sentences and fixing the typos. By keeping these tasks separate, you completely avoid that cognitive overload we talked about. You're only doing one thing at a time.
It really all comes down to this. Great academic writing isn't some magical gift that only a few people are born with. It's not about being a genius. It's about having a smart, repeatable process that you can trust to get you through it every single time.
So I'll just leave you with this question. On your very next writing assignment, what's the first step you're going to take to be more strategic? Maybe it's just getting clear on the assignment rules, or maybe it's dedicating real time to building a solid plan before you write a single sentence. Whatever it is, that's where the change begins. The power to transform your writing is right there, in that first strategic step.